What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RC's Gateway to Comics. Today we are going to be talking about raising the stakes for your story. Now, this is something that could be put into place whenever you are writing a single standalone story or whenever you are writing a series. And a series, it is much more obvious whenever you are raising the stakes. So, let's first start with the standalone stories. And with the standalone story, you can raise the stakes for your characters by putting them into more dangerous situations as the plot progresses. Or you could even make the villains gain power as the story goes on. This is something that I am quite familiar with my first book, A Red Sky is Upon Us. And I did that specifically by focusing on the villain. Now, the main villain is Auroras, an evil mermaid who has control of magical powers that only she can wield. However, whenever the pirates of the Red Sky first encounter her, she is not as powerful as the legends have told. And that is solely because she doesn't have a magical emerald that is quintessential to her harnessing her power. Now, the way that I raise the stakes whenever it comes to this is I have the pirates encounter her in a weakened state, but they're still able to be defeated by her in this state. Now, they do end up getting away, obviously, but it establishes her as a threat. And you know, as the reader, that the opportunity for her to become a bigger threat is still there so long as she gets the emerald necklace. And that eventually does happen. And whenever it does happen, you see in how the characters react and in how Auroras herself reacts that this is going to be a bigger problem for the heroes of the story, of the pirates. And it is stakes being raised to a level where they have not been before. They are scared. They know that they may be walking into a death trap because they faced this villain, this mermaid, and they barely made it out of there alive the first time. So if you can have your characters encounter a villain or encounter a scenario where you know and the characters know that what's going on is definitely not the full power of whatever they're encountering, then it would definitely mean more later on whenever you do show that that villains or that scenario's full power, and it will make it stick out because and whenever your characters overcome that, then it will make much more of an impact, and it will show that they have learned their lessons from the previous encounter to be able to overcome this higher risk. Now, what you can also do if you're writing a series is to build upon the threat and to make it more impressive as the books go on or as the chapters go on. Now, one thing that I managed to do with the Red Sky series is that I managed to introduce in the first book the conflict between the pirates and the Navy, and also the pirates and the magical creatures that are villainous. So, like Auroras and various other magical entities that you get introduced to throughout the series. And whenever it gets to the fifth, no, and in the first book, you only have one of each of those. You have one Navy ship that's coming after them, and it's led by Commodore Hammond, Julia Hammond's father, because he wants to get her back, obviously, and Auroras, and the ship that she has, which is the Black Fog, which is the ship of her now deceased former lover. So you have those two. You have those two villains that are coming after the pirates. And whenever you want to build up these two sides and make them more impressive and more threatening, then what can you do? Add to them. Instead of one Navy ship, you have the entire armada. Instead of one villainous magical mermaid, you have villainous magical mermaid and several other ships. And you have them teaming together to take on one common enemy. That is raising stakes far above what the first book was. And based on the experiences of the first book, and if the characters barely made it out alive, then your readers are going to want to see how they're going to overcome this massive obstacle. And whenever you establish that the first, whenever you establish the first villain or scenario as a big threat, and you have your characters growing throughout the stories, then hopefully, then your readers will be able to see this high risk, and they will be able to say, what are they going to do, and what are they going to take from their various lessons, and what are they going to use to defeat this villain or overcome this scenario. So it's definitely something that takes a lot of practice, because you need to be aware of ways to not have your characters fall into just doing the same old things, and you need to have them learn things that they can bring into these heightened scenarios and still have the attention of your reader. And I think that that is something that I have done successfully with my books, because it's something that is continuously built upon throughout the series, and there's always a new threat to it. I always take pride in making my villains intriguing, and also giving them personality, and also making them a threat. Because, unfortunately, nowadays it's quite common to see villains who are pushovers, and they're not really a threat to the heroes, because, unfortunately, characters are being written like Mary Sue's, and I don't like that. So, whenever it comes to raising the stakes in a battle, or raising the stakes in a story, or raising stakes in general, try to push the envelope a little bit more, and make it so that whenever the hero is fighting against a villain or is trying to overcome a specific situation, make sure that they earn it. Because whenever they earn it, it will be much more exhilarating whenever the audience and the readers read that they survived and that they conquered the villain or the scenario. What are you guys' thoughts on raising the stakes throughout a book or a book series? I'm curious to hear those down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe so we can continue to bring you guys more videos just like this. Also, if you want to see how I have raised the stakes whenever it comes to pirate fiction, definitely go and check out the Red Sky series. It is a 5-book long series about the pirate captain Riggs and his crew as they try to sail the seas to become the most notorious pirates of all time. All at the same time as Riggs is trying to win the heart of Julia Hammond, the daughter of a Commodore. So you can see where the tension is going to be whenever it comes to that. All of those are available on Amazon and Kindle, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I did writing them. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see all of you in the next video. Peace out.